In January, the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights dismissed 11 complaints related to book removals in schools. Well, this action has been criticized by free speech organizations, asserting that book bans are a real and growing issue. Weighing in on this topic, let's welcome Katherine Freligh, Legislative Chair for the South Carolina Association of School Librarians and Freedom to Read SC, and Sarah Laskowski, Teacher Librarian in Charleston County. Great to have you ladies with us.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to first share with our audience what Freedom to Read SC is. What does this organization stand for?
Absolutely. So Freedom to Read South Carolina is a coalition of various organizations that are educational organizations, advocates, civil rights advocates that come together to protect our students and library patrons' First Amendment right to access diverse literature, diverse books in both public and school libraries. Okay. And so it's a wide coalition that works to advocate for our patrons.
Mm-hmm. Now, as I alluded in the beginning, so the complaints alleged that local school districts' removal of age-inappropriate, sexually explicit, or obscene materials from their school libraries created a hostile environment for students. Is there a fine line, Sarah, that there is inappropriateness and there should be freedom to read?
Yeah, so especially in our schools with school libraries, we focus on using our expertise, which comes from our background in school, as well as our in-school expertise as teachers, and our community partnerships between our teachers, our staff, our curriculum specialists, all those kinds of things. We try to make sure that we're curating a collection that meets the needs of our specific school. So what is appropriate for one school may be different than what's appropriate for another school. And so keeping those decisions local to that school and that community really help make sure that that fine line meets the needs of that specific community. A community may need a little bit more support, and so they may need a little bit more access to information, whereas another community might have a really supportive group of parents who maybe have a little bit more say in what they're curating in the collection. And we work with our community partners to make sure that all of those are taken into consideration.
Because I'm curious, I wanted to know, how does a school librarian decide what actually goes on those shelves?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So we use a ton of resources. Okay. We start at the very beginning, we have a background in literacy, and we do lots of studying on different types of books for children and different things like that. Then when it comes to the actual purchasing time, we're looking at reviews from reputable sources. We use all different kinds of academic journals. We also use reviews from other librarians and other library organizations like SCASL or AASL. We also will look at what our community analysis says. So we will take a look at what our library currently holds, as well as what our community analysis says. What are the demographics of our school? What are the demographics of our community? What are the needs of our community? As well as curriculum needs. So that changes sometimes year to year, so we look again at those curriculum needs.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. And I want to come back to you because I am curious how you decide. You say that certain books good for certain schools while others not so much, more parental involvement, less parental involvement. But before we get to that, there's a lot happening up at the Capitol. So maybe you could tell a little bit about where you're butting heads with the powers that be and why.
Yeah, so with Regulation 43-170, it really gave us a blanket regulation that set a bar for age appropriateness for all students. And as Sarah was saying, different communities, different students have different needs. And likewise, a kindergartner is going to have vastly different needs than a senior in high school. And so when you have a blanket regulation that's for every school and every student in the state, every age group, unfortunately, we're not serving our students well. And so one of the things we've done is create a bill we're calling the Freedom to Read bill, and it's H 4059. And we're so grateful to Representative Bauer, who has been our lead sponsor. But what it does is three things. And the first is really protect our students' First Amendment right to access diverse literature, diverse perspectives, and diverse books in their school libraries. And two, it provides a transparent process for book reviews and book reconsiderations. So not every book is for every child, just as we were saying. And so it provides a pathway that's clear and transparent for everyone to know, where the challenge is coming in. And then thirdly, it protects our librarians from harassment and retaliation, because unfortunately that has been happening in the last 5 to 6 years.
Well, this is such a very important subject, which we've unfortunately run out of time, but I want to continue the conversation. And for anybody who wants more information on what you're doing up at the state capitol, we'll make sure to put that up on the screen.
Absolutely.
Ladies, I want to thank you so much
Yes,
for sharing
thank
your
you.
expertise. We'll be back after this.